Hi everyone, and welcome back to this university cooking series where I'll be going through some very easy recipes for all beginner cooks. And today is all about broccoli. We're going to make two broccoli recipes today: an oven roasted crispy broccoli and the tasty broccoli soup. And let's start off by making the roasted broccoli. The first step is to preheat your oven to 180 Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit, and then start by cutting the broccoli. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the stalk of the broccoli that we often discard is as edible and nutritious as the florets. It can be peeled and used in all recipes just like the florets. And the reason why we're peeling it is because sometimes it gets hard and it becomes difficult to chew. So that's the only reason. And what I do usually for the grilled recipe is to remove the florets with my hand, just like that, by twisting and snapping the florets off the stalk. And that way I get the full floret without, breaking it. But if you want to use the knife and cut it, that's totally fine as well. Let's cut those florets and line them up for grilling. And I'm going to peel and cut 1 clove of garlic. Now, garlic and broccoli often go well together, so you may find garlic in most of the recipes that use broccoli. And garlic also enhances the taste and the aroma of the broccoli. And if you don't have fresh garlic, you may also replace it with dry garlic powder. So we have our broccoli pieces in a bowl, and I've added 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Be cautious not to add too much salt here because we're going to mix it well, and it does not taste good if it's too salty. And now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of chili powder to add some spice to the mix, and also the chopped garlic to it. And now add 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and that's it for the mixture. Now, using your hands, mix it thoroughly so that the salt and chili are evenly coated in the broccoli florets. And broccoli is one of those vegetables that almost has become the flag bearer for nutritional vegetables, right? I'm not sure about the perception of broccoli from a taste perspective though. Did you always like the taste of broccoli? If not, I hope I can convince you today to try one of these recipes and change your mind. Okay, so that's evenly coated. So let's take a baking tray lined with parchment paper and place these florets and the stalk on the baking tray evenly. In it goes to the oven, and let's roast it for 25 minutes in the convection setting. And there we go, our roasted broccoli is ready. It's vibrant green with light brown and crispy edges and can be enjoyed on its own, or toss it in a pasta like I have the chicken Alfredo pasta recipe. But instead of the chicken, you could use these roasted broccoli. Find the recipe in my channel. You may also pair it with a dip for extra flavor. I hope you will all make this broccoli and enjoy it. But we're not done yet because we've got the broccoli soup recipe coming up, for which I'm going to cut another broccoli here. Now for the soup recipe, we're going to blend it in the end. So you need to cut these into fairly small pieces so that it's easier to blend. And unlike the previous recipe where we removed the florets by hand, here we're just cutting it with a knife into small pieces, including the stalk. And by the way, I'm going to use an instant pot here for this recipe, which is nothing but an electric pressure cooker. But don't worry if you do not have an instant pot or a pressure cooker. You can make the same recipe in a pan or a pot. You just have to make sure that the cooking time is increased so that the broccoli is well cooked. So let's take 2 cloves of garlic for this one and peel and chop the garlic. Take 2 small shallots, and I'm going to peel and chop the shallots as well. Again, since we are going to blend it in the end, you don't really have to worry about cutting them into thin slices. Just chop them into, medium sized or thick slices, and that should be fine. Okay, so now we're going to saute the garlic and shallots together, but for that I need to turn on the Instant Pot. And like I said, if you don't have the Instant Pot, just use a regular pot and set it to medium heat. And here I'm setting the Instant Pot to saute for 4 minutes, and I'm going to turn it on. And once the preheating is done, the pot will make a sound or a beep sound, and it's time for me to add a tablespoon of olive oil. And since the pan is already hot, the oil is immediately hot as well, so I can add the garlic and just saute it for 30 seconds or so. It doesn't have to be roasted like brownish. And after that, just add the shallots too and saute them together for another 30 seconds or less than a minute. And once that's done, add the broccoli, and we saute it all together for a minute or so. And since I've put the Instant Pot to saute for 4 minutes, it will stop after 4 minutes anyway. So now we're going to add some salt and pepper. I think this is one of those rare recipes of mine where I don't add any chili powder, so no spice in this one, just black pepper. And for the salt, compared to the previous roasted broccoli recipe where we had to be very careful with the amount of salt, here I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt because we are going to add water and milk and blend it all together. So it's possible to adjust the quantity of salt and add a little bit more here. And there's the pepper. Saute it just a little bit before adding the water to cook this broccoli. And like I said, if you don't have a pressure cooker, you may adjust the quantity of water that you add here. So just put more water and cook it for a longer time. Now here I'm going to put around 2.5 cups of water for 1 broccoli. And close the Instant Pot. We're going to pressure cook it for 5 minutes. So click on pressure cook, custom, 5 minutes, and turn it on. And once the 5 minutes are done, we release the steam so that we can open the lid. Okay, let's open the lid. The broccoli is all cooked, but we have one ingredient to add, and that's milk. We're going to add 1 cup of milk. I know that it might seem weird that we are adding milk in a soup, but trust me, it does not taste like milk when the soup is done, and it's going to give it a nice rich and creamy texture. Okay, so now we are ready to blend this soup. I'm using a hand blender to blend it directly in the pot. Move the blender around the pot to ensure everything is evenly pureed. And once the mixture is smooth and well combined, our soup is ready. Sprinkle some freshly ground black pepper on top to finish. And there you go, the creamy broccoli soup is ready. It's good to enjoy as a complete meal for dinner as it's quite filling, and you can also store it in the fridge and reheat it the next day for a quick and easy meal. So I hope you'll try both these broccoli recipes and let me know how it turned out for you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and keep supporting for more recipes like this, and have a great day. Bye bye.